It has turned into a large tornado, Mike. Hopefully this shot will do it justice. It has gotten very large at this time.
Hi.
Hi, can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. What school do you go to?
I go to Waynewood Elementary.
Oh, okay. And what county is that?
Fairfax.
Oh, Fairfax. Awesome. So you're going to go play in the snow later?
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, that's great.
Alright, I have some questions for you. Okay.
Okay, good.
What are the difficulties of reporting a tornado?
Most of the ones we have around here are really small tornadoes, and they're really kind of hard to see on radar. I mean, radar is the only way that we can see tornadoes. We can see the movement inside the clouds with radar. Like, I'm going to show you over here, our radar here right now.
Oh, cool.
This is, I don't know if you can see it.
I can see, yeah.
There's the radar of the snow right now.
Oh, cool.
And that is quickly ending right where you are. Actually, probably the snow is mostly over there now.
Aw.
And our radar, though, in the summertime, when we have thunderstorms, we can actually see inside the cloud, and we can see whether or not there's any kind of circulation inside the cloud itself.
Cool.
So we'll see like a little tiny, what we call a rotation signature. Hey, hang on just a second, Faith. I got to go back on TV.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm here, Curry. Okay.
That's gonna be cool. Let's watch TV. You're gonna go on TV.
Good morning here in Washington. The snow's still falling. Just some very light snow now falling across northern Virginia, Fairfax County, into the district, Montgomery, Prince George's. Just some very light snow now. Most of the accumulating snow is gone. It's going to continue to track away, and as it does pull away, I get a little sunshine breaking out later this afternoon, and we'll hover near 30 the rest of the day, then staying below freezing overnight tonight. During the morning tomorrow, maybe a few flurries, and the sun back in the afternoon. Cold Saturday, near 40 Sunday. A little bit of a mix on Monday morning. Warmer next week, maybe. Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I have. How much has our tornado warning system improved over the past 20 years?
Oh yeah, we have had a tremendous change in the what we call lead time in forecasting weather, in forecasting severe storms. I mean, the lead time we had before, my coworkers are looking. I'm FaceTiming with the student who's asking questions. Say hello to. Say hello. Welcome to Channel 4. Yeah, she's asking me some questions as part of a school project. So we're FaceTiming. Yeah. That's so great. So anyway, yeah, Faith, we have had, I mean, back maybe 20 or 30 years ago, we would do a warning for a tornado, and it might only be 10 minutes or so before the tornado would touch down. I mean, that's not really enough time for people to really, be able to take shelter, But now the average lead time for tornadoes is over 20 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
And that's much, much better than it was. And now a lot of that has to do with our radar. The radar technology has gotten so much better in the last 20 years or so. It's because we can see that circulation inside those clouds, and then we can immediately go on TV and get on the air and get out the warnings. But a lot of people don't get their information from TV anymore. They get it on their phones or on their iPads or whatever. And so we'll get the warnings out that way too now. So no matter where people are, if they've got a mobile phone, whatever, we can send a warning out that way too.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
How much do you think our tornado warning system will improve over the next 20 years?
Whoa, that is a great question. Well, I don't know if our radar technology is going to improve that much more. I mean, the technology has gotten probably about as good as it can get right now. I mean, unless they come up with some really ingenious new ways of seeing inside clouds, because radar really is the only way to do that. I would imagine it's probably going to stay about the same. I mean, 20 to 25 minute advance warning that's a lot. You
Yeah.
know, that's plenty of time, especially like if you're in school. Have you ever had tornado drills in
Yes.
school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what they do, and they've got a warning system right there in the principal's office. If there is a warning and there's a tornado coming toward your school, they can get on the announcement system there and say, "All right, everybody, tornado drill, get in." Get in. I don't know what you guys do. You go to a hall. You go to a hall.
Cover our heads.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's how you'll be able to stay safe. And usually it's probably not going to change that much in the next 20 years. It's probably still going to be like 20, 25-minute advance warning.
Okay. So, have you ever been in a tornado?
Oh, no. I'm
That's
so
good.
glad because, they are really, really evil. The strongest winds ever recorded on the earth were from a tornado. And those were from a tornado near Oklahoma City a number of years ago. They were actually using radar. They had a remote radar, and they were using that to scan the base of the tornado, and they could see into the very bottom of the tornado. And they were able to detect the winds at the very base of the tornado. They were 312 miles an hour.
Whoa.
And those are the strongest winds ever recorded on the entire planet.
Wow.
We've never had winds recorded that strong ever before.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why, tornadoes are just so scary. And I'm so glad I've never seen one. I've seen damage that they cause,
really
but
bad.
I've never actually seen one. But, around here, we don't get really bad tornadoes like that. The ones we get are real small, and they only touch down for maybe, 5 minutes or something, and they're usually really small. They're no wider than like your school gym or something. They're pretty small, and they're only on the ground maybe for a couple of minutes, and then they're gone. So we don't really ever get the really terrible ones like they do there, but they can still do some damage. They can still, they can knock trees down and knock the power out and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I have one last question. What is the biggest tornado you've ever reported on?
Well, I would have to say, as far as the ones right here, we have had, there was one that hit near College Park, I want to say, maybe around 15 years ago. And there actually was a college student there. She was running out to her car, and I think she was in her car, and the car got flipped over, and she was killed.
Oh.
It was terrible. But there was a warning out and everything else, but I just don't think she wasn't. And that was before we were getting warnings out on cell phones and stuff. So, she was in class, wasn't watching TV. It didn't have any warning. It just thought, oh, look, there's a bad storm. Looks like I better run to get my car. And unfortunately, even though it was a small tornado, that's what breaks your heart, as a forecaster, because we did go on TV, we sent out the warnings and everything. But, if people just, don't happen to be, watching at that time, they just are not going to know. Yeah. And that just, it just breaks your heart.
Yeah,
that happens.
We were watching a video and 13 people died in this tornado.
Where was that one? Do you remember?
No, maybe Oklahoma or something. And
okay, yeah. That's where they get the worst ones are in Texas and Oklahoma and, Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri, because they have a big clash of cold, dry air and warm, moist air in the spring. That's usually when those really happen. Those are in April and early May. And just because of the way the different air masses clash there, that's why they get the really, really, really nasty tornadoes.
Okay. Thank you so much for this interview, and my brother would like to ask one question.
Okay, sure. All right, Faith, great talking with you.
Hi, I'm John.
Hi.
I did one on blizzards, and I was just going to ask, what is the biggest blizzard that you've ever recorded?
Wow, well, we've had some really nasty ones here. Our last blizzard that we had in Washington was back in 2009, 2010, and you were probably too small to remember it. But we had some really terrible snow. We had over 20 inches of snow. We had winds that were blowing at 40 to 50 miles an hour. And so we had snow drifts taller than you are. How tall are you?
For 52 inches.
Okay, yeah. So, the snow drifts were 4 feet tall, taller than you are. And the wind just wouldn't stop. That was the thing. The wind was blowing 40 to 50 miles an hour with 20 inches of snow. We were paralyzed for days and days after that. School was closed for like a whole week.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, it was terrible. That was in like February of 2010. So we're talking 5 years ago now.
And
So what grade are you in, John?
I'm in 4th. I'm in the same class as my sister.
Oh, you are? Oh, cool.
You're twins.
We're twins.
We're twins.
Oh, neat. Now, have you guys had a unit on weather?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Because I know I visit Fairfax County schools, and I usually talk to a lot of 4th grades, and but I haven't been to your school. But I always come and talk to them after they have their unit. Is your unit on weather over now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, cool.
So
is this a project you're doing for
Yeah.
science?
yeah. And yeah, it is.
Oh, neat. So you're gonna get credit. I hope you get an A on this.
Yeah, me too.
And then you're gonna tell them that you talked to me on FaceTime, right?
Yeah. We're videotaping it.
Oh, you are? Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right. Your mother knows how to do that, right? I'll say hi to all your friends and hi to your teacher. That's
Mrs.
so
Price.
great. That's so
Yeah.
neat.
Say hi, Mrs. Price.
Hi, Mrs. Price.
And I have one last question. Can I ask one more?
Okay.
What are the challenges of reporting on a blizzard?
Well, the challenges are, well, first of all, like I've talked about radar before, that we use radar for thunderstorms and for tornadoes and stuff. Well, radar is really good with snow, and I showed the radar before. I'm
Yeah.
going to show it again here.
It's so cool. Look at that. That's awesome.
Woo!
That is awesome.
And so we can really track the radar with the snow with our radar.
Mhm.
And so the toughest thing with blizzards, I think, is probably forecasting the amount of wind, because blizzards are mostly about wind plus snow and cold,
Yeah.
but it's the wind that makes it so much worse, because you can get like that one in 2010. I mean, you can get winds of blowing 50 to 60 miles an hour, and those are kind of hard to predict, the actual amount of wind. I mean, you can say, okay, we're going to have a lot of wind, and it might be that high, but sometimes you can get gusts a lot higher than that. In some areas in higher elevations can get stronger winds, and lower elevations get not as much wind. So yeah, that's probably the toughest part, I would say.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Tom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Take care, buddy.